Ever feel like your brain hits a delay button when you want to skip English?
Oh, definitely.
Like you have the words somewhere deep down, but they need, I don't know, translation first, like a whole committee meeting in your head.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's a very common feeling for learners. Your thoughts are in one language, and getting them out in English feels like this big conversion process.
Right. Well, welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something that can honestly be a game changer, training your brain to actually think directly in English.
Mm-hmm. And this isn't just, some lofty academic idea. We're talking about real, practical improvements in how you speak and understand.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you cut out that constant translation step, what happens?
Well, you'd speak more smoothly, wouldn't you? Those little pauses, the searching, they'd start to fade because you're not doing that mental back and forth all the time.
Exactly. It lets you respond much quicker in conversations. That natural flow, that give and take, it just becomes more, natural, more intuitive.
And I bet that does wonders for your confidence, right? When it feels easier to just say what you mean.
Confidence skyrockets.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's not just speaking either. Your listening gets better too. You start catching the flow of ideas, the meaning, directly in English, not just word by word.
Which is the goal, isn't it? Better communication. So, okay, our mission today is to break this whole thinking in English thing down, make it feel less abstract, give you actual steps you can use right away.
Yes, because it's definitely more achievable than it might sound at first. And there's this fascinating link, between language and how we actually think.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well, the language we use genuinely shapes our thoughts to some extent.
Yeah.
So when you start actively thinking in English, you start building these direct connections between concepts and the English words for them. It's like creating a shortcut, bypassing the detour through your native language. You connect ideas within English itself.
Okay, so it's like each language is a different toolkit for understanding the world. And thinking in English helps you use the English tools more effectively.
That's a great way to look at it. The pieces just fit together more smoothly within that system. And interestingly, research actually suggests that thinking in the language you're speaking leads to, not just more fluency, but even better problem solving within that language.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's deeper than just sounding good. It's about processing things differently. So where does someone even start with this? What's the first, practical thing you can do?
The very first step is actually pretty simple. It's about your surroundings. Just start mentally labeling things you see, people, objects, situations, just in your head, in English.
Okay, so if I'm looking around my room now.
Exactly. You'd think this is a blue mug, or it's on the desk, I see someone outside, that person's walking quickly, the sky looks gray today. Just silent descriptions.
Right, just making that immediate word-to-object link in English. Got it. What's step 2 then? How do we build on that?
Step 2 is taking that internal chatter and applying it to your daily tasks. That running commentary in your head. Start doing that in English.
Okay, so when I'm making coffee.
You might think, okay, I need to get the filter, or the water is boiling now, commuting, the train is late again, getting ready, I'm choosing a shirt. These little everyday thoughts really build the habit.
Yeah, I can see that. Those tiny moments, repeated often, would start to make English feel more automatic in your head. Okay, what about actually speaking? Even if it's just to yourself, that feels like a bigger step.
It is, but it's step 3, and it's super effective. Talk to yourself in English, out loud, if you can, when you're alone.
Okay, might feel a bit weird at first.
It might. But think of it like rehearsing lines for a play. You're just practicing. Narrate what you're doing. Okay, I'm looking for my keys now. Where did I put them?
Okay, so just verbalizing the internal monologue sometimes.
Exactly. Putting on my coat, grabbing my bag. It's great practice for using vocabulary and sentence structures without any pressure.
Makes sense. Describe, think through tasks, talk to yourself. What's next for really getting immersed?
Step 4, immerse yourself in English media. This one's huge. Surround your brain with the sounds and rhythms of English.
Movies, TV shows, that kind of thing.
Yes, and podcasts, obviously. YouTube videos, music, audiobooks. Anything you enjoy. The more you hear it, the more your brain just starts to absorb the patterns. And maybe try listening without subtitles sometimes, especially at first, just to train your ear.
Right, force your brain to work a bit harder to catch the flow. Okay, immersion. But what about actual interaction? Talking with people?
That brings us to step 5, and it's really vital. Practice with English speakers. Real conversations force you to think on your feet in English. There's no time for elaborate translation.
Yeah, that's often the scariest part for people, I think, the real-time pressure.
It can be intimidating, for sure. But there are lots of ways. Find a language exchange partner online, chat with English-speaking friends if you have them, join online communities, use language apps, even just forums.
So it doesn't have to be long, formal conversations.
Not at all. Even short, regular chats make a big difference. It builds that quick response muscle.
Okay, that's encouraging. So find ways to talk. Is there a final practical step?
Step 6 involves writing. Get an English notebook or start a journal. Try writing down your thoughts, maybe what you did that day, how you're feeling, but do it in English.
So actively producing the language, not just receiving it.
Exactly. Writing forces you to construct sentences, choose words, think about grammar. It really reinforces everything. And hey, don't worry about perfection. Just practice.
Okay, that's a really solid set of strategies. Describe, think internally, self-talk, immerse, converse, write. But, it's not always smooth sailing. What are the common roadblocks people hit?
Oh, definitely. A big one, maybe the biggest, is the fear of making mistakes. People get really self-conscious about saying something wrong.
Yeah, that fear can be paralyzing, can't it?
It really can. But the thing to remember is mistakes are totally normal. They're actually how you learn. Think about how you learned your first language. You made tons of mistakes.
Yeah.
It's the same process. So the solution is really a mindset shift. Try not to be afraid. See mistakes as like data points showing you what to work on.
Reframe them as learning opportunities. I like that. Okay, what's another hurdle?
Just feeling overwhelmed. English has so much vocabulary, so many rules, it can feel like this enormous mountain to climb.
Yeah, where do you even begin?
The key is start small. Don't try to learn everything at once. Focus on consistency. Set tiny, realistic goals. Maybe I'll think in English for 10 minutes today, or I'll learn 3 new food words this week. Little steps add up and make it feel manageable.
Break it down. Makes sense. What about the habit of, your brain automatically defaulting back to your native language when you get stuck or tired?
Ah, yes, the comfort zone. It's so easy to slip back. Your native language feels safe, easy, but staying there hinders progress.
So how do you fight that urge?
You have to make a conscious effort to stay in English, especially for simple thoughts at first. Notice when you switch back and gently guide your thoughts back to English. It's about deliberately pushing that boundary, little by little. Start simple, then tackle slightly more complex thoughts as you get comfortable.
Like flexing a muscle, you have to push it a bit to make it stronger. Okay, another challenge. What if you just don't have many chances to speak English if you're not in an English-speaking place?
That's a really common and valid frustration. You have to get creative and proactive. Use those online communities we mentioned. Find language partners via apps. Talk to yourself seriously. It helps. And don't underestimate listening. Listening to podcasts, music, shows. It keeps English active in your brain even if you're not speaking.
So be resourceful. Use the tools available.
Yeah.
Got it. One last challenge.
Just frustration with the pace of progress. Sometimes it feels incredibly slow, like you're putting in the effort but not getting results fast enough.
Yeah, that can definitely kill motivation.
It can. And the only real solution here is patience and consistency. You have to trust the process. And, crucially, celebrate the small wins. Did you understand a joke in a movie? Did you manage a short chat without translating? Acknowledge that. Progress isn't always linear, but it is happening if you stick with it.
Right. Recognizing those little victories keeps you going. Okay, so we know the steps, we know the potential challenges. How do we make this stick? How do we turn thinking in English into a real, lasting habit?
Well, as we've touched on, consistency is absolutely key. Little and often beats big, and rarely, every single time.
Right. Daily practice, even short bursts. So any specific tips for building that consistency?
Tip 1, set those small, achievable goals we talked about. Be specific. Not just think in English more, but I will consciously think in English while I make breakfast, or I'll describe my commute mentally in English for 5 minutes. Small goals feel doable, you achieve them, you feel good, and that builds momentum.
Okay, specific, small goals. What else?
Tip 2, piggyback on existing habits. Link thinking in English to something you already do every day without fail. Brushing your teeth, waiting for the kettle, use that time. Maybe think about your plans for the day in English while you shower.
Habit stacking. Smart. Makes it less likely you'll forget. What about tools and tech?
Definitely use them. That's tip 3. Language learning apps. Duolingo, Memrise, Babbel, whatever works for you, are great for vocab. Sometimes even speaking practice. And keep listening. Podcasts, YouTube channels on topics you actually like. It makes immersion enjoyable and reinforces hearing English.
Use technology as your ally. Good one. How about connecting with people?
Yes. Tip 4. Join some kind of English-speaking community, online or offline if possible. Practicing with real people makes it more fun, less isolating. Language exchange partners, online groups, local clubs. That real interaction is gold for making you think quickly and keeps you motivated.
The social aspect definitely helps. Okay, final tip for making it last.
Tip 5. Track your progress and celebrate those wins. We mentioned this with overcoming frustration, but it's crucial for habit building too. Notice when things get easier. Maybe keep a little note. Understood most of that meeting.
Yeah.
Or had a 5-minute chat without switching. Seeing improvement is powerful positive reinforcement. It keeps you going.
Right. Acknowledging how far you've come keeps you invested in going further. Okay, this has been incredibly helpful. Let's just quickly recap the main points.
Sounds good.
So basically, thinking in English is vital for really getting fluent, responding faster, feeling more confident. The practical steps are things like mentally describing your surroundings, thinking through daily tasks in English, talking to yourself.
Immersing yourself in English media like movies and podcasts, actively finding ways to practice speaking with others, and using an English journal or notebook to write your thoughts.
And we know there will be challenges, right? Like fear of mistakes, feeling overwhelmed.
The tendency to switch back to your native language, maybe lack of practice opportunities, or just frustration with slow progress.
But we can tackle those by changing our mindset about mistakes, starting small, consciously practicing, being resourceful, and being patient.
And to make it a lasting habit, set small, specific goals, link practice to daily routines, use apps and media, connect with other speakers, and definitely celebrate your progress along the way.
Exactly. It's a skill like any other. It takes time and consistent effort. It won't happen overnight.
No, definitely not. But progress is inevitable if you keep at it little by little.
So for everyone listening, maybe just pick one thing, one strategy from today. Maybe it's thinking in English during your commute or finding one English podcast you like. Start there.
Yeah, start small. Be kind to yourself. Remember, it's a journey. There will be good days and tough days, but every single effort counts.
And maybe just reflect on this. How might your whole experience of the world change? Just a little as you start to process more of it directly through English. What new ways of seeing things might open up?
It's a really interesting thought, isn't it? Beyond just language, it's about potentially broadening your perspective.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this fantastic deep dive today. Really practical stuff.
My pleasure. It's an important topic.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. Until next time, take care and keep practicing that English thinking.